Okay, so now that I created my folder, I am ready to drag my file into my folder. So I'll click, drag, let go, double click on that folder, and open your document. And we're back. So here are the two pages that we have created for our newsletter. Now today, in this video, I am going to guide you and show you what the tools do in InDesign. Again, I will try my best not to confuse you. I am actually trying to show you just the main tools you will utilize for this project. If we would have face-to-face class, I will definitely insist and show you more. But again, I realize that some of you have probably never seen InDesign before, so I don't want to confuse you. I will just guide you and show you the tools you will use for this project. And if we have more time, I will show you some more details. So first, let me show you what you see on the screen. Now you have the tools on the very far left. So these are the tools. They look quite similar to Photoshop tools. They're not as advanced as Photoshop. And remember, InDesign is a perfect software to design text, lots of text, while Photoshop it's an amazing software that manipulates images. So they both are strong in their own areas. So these are the tools. This thing that you see where the pages are laying, it's called the application frame, which you've heard me talk about it before when we've talked about Photoshop. It's the working table. It's where you place everything and you're actually working on the document. Now this menu on the top, this menu right here, it's called the control panel menu. It's where each tool, when I click on a certain tool, you see how the menu, the control menu on the top changes. So you see, just take a look and see how things change depending on what tool I am clicked on, which is very similar to Photoshop. So if we go back to Photoshop, you remember it does exactly the same thing. Now, if you don't see these things on your screen, let me show you a secret. You can find all of them under Window. So just go click on Window, and when you look on the Window option here, you have the Control menu selected. You should have the Tools menu selected and the Application frame selected. If one of them is missing, so for instance, if Tools is not here, you see my tools are not there now. I don't know where they are. I can't design my project. Remember, you find it under Window. So click Window, scroll down to Tools, and there it goes. Okay, so now that we covered what InDesign looks like, let's move on with the tools. So the first tool right here is called the selection tool. I don't have anything to select right now because I haven't done anything on the project yet. So let's begin with designing a text box. Now, you will do that for your project. And again, I promised I will tell you more about the project, and I will. But today, let's just go over the tools. So this is how the tools work. You click on the type tool, which is the text tool. Then always it's important, I'm going to zoom in. So it's important that you start on the line. Click, drag, let go, and end on that line. Don't cross. Okay, Adobe InDesign is shutting down. A serious error. What happened to my Adobe? Okay, let me open it again and hopefully we won't have any issues this time. So let's give it a second. Now, I was showing you how to create a type box or a text box. It's important that you start on the edge of the line and you end on the line. You don't cross the borders or you don't go across the gutter. So click, drag, let go. There you go. And InDesign will show you when you're crossing the line. So this is my selection tool. If I click on my selection tool and come click on the box, you see how the box is selected. So that's what I'm trying to say. Don't have the box go like this, where it goes across the gutter on the second column, but it doesn't end on the third column. So you have to be a bit careful about that. So make it end on the edge of that line if you want your text to go over two columns. Now let's bring in some text. And for your assignment, you will have to find stories online. So let's assume our story is about traveling. I was tempted to say coronavirus, but there's nothing positive about coronavirus. So traveling stories. And considering a newsletter should have positive stories, then let's make sure we find the story that has positive input. So there it goes. Let's assume this is our story. I'm going to select the text, click, drag, select it, Command C. Then I'll minimize my browser and I'll type on my type tool and come click inside the type box. Remember, it's extremely important, just like we covered in Photoshop, that you're clicked on the right tool. So be clicked on the type tool and do Command V to paste the text. After I pasted the text, you see I have a white space right here. So I'm going to click, hit delete, and there it goes. Now I have my text without any white spaces. Let me click on my selection tool, click on my box, on my type box, and minimize this box because it was too large. So that's what the type tool does. You are actually also able to, let's click back on the type tool and let's design another box. So you are able to type your own text. However, I wouldn't suggest that because for your project, you are allowed to find stories online. You don't have to write your own stories, you can find them online. Now, if I need to select this box and get rid of it, what do? I click on my selection tool, click on my box, and hit delete. And there it goes. So we've covered the selection tool and the type tool. Now, after I place this story right here, let me bring in a picture. So how do I bring in photos? Go back to your tools menu and scroll down until you find the rectangle with a frame inside or with a cross inside. The name of this tool is the rectangle frame tool. Click on the rectangle frame tool, come on your come on your newsletter page, click, drag, let go, and you see the rectangle with a frame inside. Now, one very important detail, you cannot copy and paste images in InDesign. You have to place them. So how do you bring an image in InDesign? After you drew the box for your image, you do File, scroll down to Place. So you're telling InDesign that you want to place an image in that box. Now let's go on my desktop and hopefully I have an image here that we can place. Okay, so I had one. I just found one recently. Okay, let me take a look here. Okay, let's just use this photo right here. I'll click on the photo, I'll hit open, and there it goes. Here's my picture. But if you would have seen the original version of this picture, you would have guessed that this picture did not fit inside the box. So it didn't fit inside the frame of the box that I have created. So to make sure that my picture fits inside the box, remember this technique. You do Object, scroll down to Fitting, and do Fill Frame Proportionally. Click there and you will see how the picture is going to be placed inside that box. So now you know how to bring in text and how to bring in pictures. Now let's assume we want to place a screened box on the right side of my newsletter and have it filled with color. So how do I do that? It's very simple. What you have to do is go to your tools menu and find the rectangle tool. Click on the rectangle tool and click on the box and draw that long, large box that covers. It's almost going to take the place of an editorial on your page. So after you drew that, it would be really nice to fill it with color, right? How do you fill it with color? Now take a look over the control menu right here on the top. Remember, I am clicked on my rectangle tool. In my control menu, there are two boxes right here that have a line across. So the first one, it says fill or drag to apply, and the second one, it says stroke. The first one, it's telling me that it's gonna fill my box with color if I want to. So you see I just clicked on that option and clicked on the color and my box was filled with color. The second option right here is going to apply a frame. So I'm going to apply a black frame onto my box. Now, if I keep insisting more in this control menu, I can even increase the size of my frame to about 2 points, and I can even change the edges of my box to a different type of style. Okay, so those were not applied. Let me apply 2 points here, and then let me change it to this right here. So let's zoom in, and you see what my box looks like. So that's how you apply color, and you're utilizing the control menu to apply more effects. Now, if I want to apply a type box, a body copy or a text box there, I'm going to click on my type tool, click, drag, let go, and make sure my box starts on the top of that other box. And now I'm going to paste the text. So click on my type tool, come inside the box and do Command V to place the text. I'm going to get rid of this extra space right here, and there it goes. So that's how we apply text, pictures, and using the tools that we have. Okay, this is it for now, guys. We'll continue from this moment right here. I'm going to save it and I'll show you what we can do next to help with this newsletter and improve it. Let me know if you have any questions and have a good afternoon. Thank you.